Jason, what hat you got on today?
Massey.
More wires, huh?
Yeah. Well,
Perfect. We didn't have enough.
yeah, there's a couple.
So is that the brain box for the 2020?
That it is. I'll try and make it look somewhat decent.
Few wires. I didn't know if the trumpets sound when you pull that out of the box or. So Forrest, do you mind telling us a little bit about some of the overview of the Massey Ferguson Planter line?
Yeah, happy to, Brian. So what we're standing in front of is that MFVF, which would have been historically the white 9800 series. So in model year 22, the white planter transitioned to the Massey brand. So it's built off the white planter legacy, and then we coupled it again with that precision planting technology to really kind of give you that very straightforward and accurate planting system. So.
Okay. So as far as models available, is the V-set pretty much standard equipment then on the Massey planters?
So for this specific front fold model, yes, the only meter, we have precision planting straight from the factory, so that's awesome. We also have some wing fold and mounted planters and narrow row planter and a rigid planter. So some of those we can still get the positive air meter, historical white meter, but for this model specifically, we just have precision meters and technology.
Okay. So this being a 60-foot bar, what other width bars do you guys have as options?
So within this model, it is a 12, 16, or 24 on 30-inch spacing. So that's under that MFVF, which VF stands for vacuum electric. Front fold is kind of the terminology of the model nomenclature. So what you'll see a little differently, again, same row unit, same CFS, so it's a 90 bushel CFS. You can also get 1.9 bushel row unit hoppers. On the 12 row, we have a 300-gallon fertilizer tank option that mounts on the tongue, but for the 16 and 24, it's just a 500 there on the cradle. The one unique thing that you'll see maybe differently than others is for the 24 row, we do have an extra wing wheel in the back. So you do, when you kind of unfold, you have 6 wings or 6 wheels across, and so that really helps with weight, as well as allows that wing to contour the ground even better. So that's kind of unique, maybe to some other brands you see.
Okay. I assume if a guy wanted, is there still a splitter option?
We do have a 12-23 on the MFVN, so we do have that option if you're in, if needed that, but that's not a narrow transport bar. That's the old white 9500 is what that's built off of.
Okay.
So again, looking in the future to continue to expand and improve our portfolio, but for now that's our only split row option.
Okay.
So thanks, Brian. Yeah, so I'll hand off to my colleague Jason Lean, who'll really talk about the value from an agronomy standpoint of this planting solution.
I guess first of all, it's good to be back on the farm, Brian. It's been a while since I've been here.
Yep. So Jason's been on the channel a couple times now, and yeah, it's probably the first time in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, so we've always done a lot of crop tour plots in the past. So we've done some tillage plots and some just overall planting plots. So yeah, it's good to be back in the area. So glad we could. We're going to plant with this our Massey Ferguson planter this spring. So super excited to see what value that can bring to your operation, and just how we can basically take that one seed, right, and how we can maximize the return on that investment for that one seed and turn into 700 seeds when we have that full on year. So and that's really where a lot of our core technology on this planter is going to help you deliver, is to help mitigate a lot of the challenges that we face with planting that can prevent us from getting that max return on that seed. So that's really what we've focused on with a lot of the technology on this planter. So
Okay.
yeah.
So with this planter coming, a precision planter, I assume that with that being the case, when you have this SRM on the frame, and with that you can probably piggyback into any other precision system. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And what's the beauty of that SRM system is really we're not looking at just one planter here, right? It's 24 individual planters, and so that's really where we get the advantages of the row by row section control and really putting control in every single row unit. So we're optimizing how we're putting that in every single seed into the ground. We think about what's the core job of a planter, right? We're trying to put every single seed in the ground at the right rate, trying to drop them one at a time, uniformly and evenly spaced, and then surround every seed with, 360 degrees of firm soil. So, we think about, as we kind of work from the front of the row unit to the back, Delta Force, for example. So we've seen our crop tour plots that we've done out of your farm is, there can be a really big, yield deficit if we don't get our planting depth right. And so Delta Force is going to help us always maintain, that target planting depth at all times. And then, what's unique with, Massey Ferguson planters is once you have, you know where that moisture line's at of where you need to put that seed in the ground, we can make our 1/4 inch adjustments so that way we're always putting that seed in the ground exactly at the depth it needs to be, and maintaining that with the with Delta Force.
Okay, and then if we wanted to, like someday further down the road, if we wanted to add any of the closing systems that Precision offers, is that a factory ordered option, or is that something that we would handle on the aftermarket side?
Yep, and work with your local precision planting dealer. So with our core technology, Delta Force, V-Set, V-Drive, we find value that every farm, can get value out of that. And then from there, a lot of the customizable features like...
Kind of customizing your
exactly. Like there's a lot of different closing systems out there on the market and a lot of different, tillage systems, whether if you're a no-till or conventional tillage or minimum tillage. So this row unit is compatible with, virtually any aftermarket system on there. So, we want to make sure that we're fitting the system that, best fits your operation. Yep. And then so, just like we talked about how we're trying to build with your operation, one thing you probably noticed on here is, the new residue management system from Precision Planting. So that'd be an example like we're doing here where you've worked with your local precision planting dealer, AgriService, to get that system fit on here so that we are accomplishing your residue management goals. So I think that would be another example of just how we can keep adding on to this row unit to keep making sure we're maximizing your seed investment.
Yeah, speaking of Precision AgriService, we got Justin here, so I think Justin's going to show us a little bit about the reveal system that we have on the front of this planter and give us a little bit of info on that.
Yeah.
So Justin, with reveal, I noticed that it is attached to the bar and not the row unit. Is that correct?
Yeah, so that's the biggest difference than a lot of the standard road cleaners out there in the industry nowadays. There's a couple aftermarket companies that have gone to that position. But the goal by doing that is to take a lot of that vibration that a row cleaner causes by running on the front of that row unit and putting it on the frame so that you're not affecting the spacing of that seed as it's going through the field. So all that vibration is absorbed through the frame versus through the row unit on the seed drop side of things. And then the biggest thing with the reveal side of things that's different as well is it has an internal gauge wheel on it. So you can actually engage the tine engagement differently than just adjusting the air, which is different than any other row cleaner out there currently on the market.
Okay. So you do have the ability in the cab then to adjust your row cleaner up, down, all that good stuff?
Yes. So it's got a down air bag. If you have a Gen 3 2020, it would be a control pane on the screen that it would run through to control it there. If you have a Gen 2 2020, it would be the same that we have for the clean sweep side with a manual control bar.
Okay. All right. Well, Justin, I appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Clip, unclip, pulls apart in 2 pieces.
Okay.
So you got your 5, well, it's technically a 6-lobe singulator. Seed pull down here, so we talked about the seed pull adjustment. You could raise that up on the back side and that'll allow more seed down
That's
there.
a whole lot different than...
Yep, and then when it comes up, there's a lot of times you'll have three seeds per hole, and as it goes through this singulator assembly right here, it's gonna get knocked 5 times, and then you'll have 1 seed at the end. And this last one here is just for aligning for the speed tube. They're trying to line it for the wheels on the speed tube side of things, so it grabs it properly there. So
Is there different discs that goes on?
so that is a corn disc there,
That's corn.
27 cell corn disc. If you plant beans with it, there's a lime green, 56 cell soybean
They're all
disc.
color coded too for
Yep.
everything color codes.
How's that go? What holds it on, that little E-clip?
Yep.
Yeah. Just, kind of the best way, the easiest way is just keep it vertical even when you're pulling out.
Oh, that's hammered.
The biggest thing to always pay attention to if you ever take these apart is there is this little metal paper clip back here. You want to make sure it's there,
Yeah, right.
okay? Because that's what holds that singulator up against. If you don't have it there, your meter performance, like Ford shows, as soon as I push that together, it automatically put. It's always good to check and press down.
So the seat is basically the same as
Yeah, I think cases is 2 inches longer, but in essence the same.
Dad, this is completely different from what you're used to.
You're different on the Angler side. So your C-tube sensor's here. So you open it up, okay? Just pull on the cover,
Oh, okay.
okay? 2 separate pieces, okay?
Belts.
Yep.
There is an orientation on it. It's in here too, so just make sure if you ever do
Yeah,
take
yeah,
them
yeah,
away that you,
So you just your 2 feeder wheels, feed right in. Your bigger, larger seeds, they get stuck. That's what this rumple strip's here to bring it back in. All the way down, all the way through. You got your wear plates at the bottom, okay? And your idler pulling. I mean, these belts, they're already pre-tensioned set. If you ever need to take one apart, just spin it, take it apart like that. They're very simple, put back in. This is what Forrest was talking about was, as I hooked that around
Yeah,
there.
that's wrong with it.
See how there's a bevel to that?
Yep, yep.
So right there on this housing here,
Oh,
tells you exactly where the bevel should be.
Okay.
So all I do is go like this. Take the cover, it hooks at the bottom first. So like that. Let's set this right. Snap it back together. There is a spot right here. She snaps. C-tube sensor back in. And you're off and running. Biggest thing over time, maintenance-wise, is we got to pay attention down here. These steel pieces and stuff like that. So if they're not coming together, we'll have deflections and stuff like that. The wheels you change every year. They're
Just all
these 3.
there's 3.
Or 2, sorry, these
Two,
2.
okay.
I think they're a $7, $8 part. You just basically peel them up and take them right off and sew the next one's on. So over time, you'll get seed coating build up on them.
So you say every year, what's their acre count though? I mean,
We don't really have an acre count to them.
every year's different for every farm.
We just make it standard every year, and it's just because it's a small and expensive part that if you don't replace it and you get halfway through the season, you start having problems with it not feeding right, that it's going to hurt you more in season than it would to just take care of it ahead of time.
So the seed's going in there and that's force it down in there?
Yep. So if you look right here,
Gotcha.
you see it go right here. So I mean, that's just us. That's our Precision Agri Services. That is what we say yearly. We ship them to guys just because we're trying to prevent anything taking you down in the field. So when you put them back in, there's nothing that holds it except for there's a heating bracket underneath and that hooks right here. So that's spring loaded. Seconds, 2, 1, take off. You got your vacuum left and right. You got left and right back, so you can keep pressure on both sides there.
So now we've been trained on how to use this planter. Kind of have a little bit of an overview. We're going to unfold it, try to fire up some of the systems, make sure everything's going to work on it. And then we'll be one step closer to planting corn once the weather starts cooperating. So you may be wondering why they just drag that planter across the asphalt. Justin from Precision Agri Service said it really won't hurt the planter, and it's a great way to test your closing wheels to see where they're at. So yeah, so we did that. Little scratch test. So doing another scratch test. Here you can see we need to shim this. We need to move this gauge wheel, or not the gauge wheel, the closing wheel a little bit. We're kind of tugging this side a little bit too much. Well, folks, there you have it. This is our corn planter for this year. So this is an extended demo from Massey Ferguson. This is not our actual corn planter. We did not buy this. We have this corn planter because you guys continue to keep watching and support the channel. So thank you for doing that. So we really appreciate you guys liking and watching and following and everything. It gives us the opportunity to try out new pieces of equipment like this Massey Ferguson corn planter behind me. So really excited, really looking forward to trying this thing out. Unfortunately, it's definitely not happening this week. So yeah, pretty soggy right now. Got about 4 inches of rain this week. So very soggy. We have a lot to get done before planting season begins. But when it begins, we will be ready. This thing is ready to go. We are not. Neither is the ground conditions, but soon, soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you would do me a favor, thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and we'll see you in the next one.